Hello, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are joining us from. My name is Valeria Meneses, and I'm part of the Fire Marketing team at Bosch. Today, I give you the warmest welcome to our webinar, where we will discuss how AVENAR meets BMS, driving smarter, safer building management. Before we begin with our webinar, I would like to share with you a couple of considerations. This webinar will be recorded, so please know that your microphone will be muted during the whole session to ensure good audio quality. You can send your questions during the whole presentation through the Q&A section on WebEx. Please make sure to notice that it is on the bottom right. You can, again, send your questions at any moment, and we will dedicate at the end of the session some part of the time to answer all of your questions. And if it's not possible to answer all of them, we will make sure to contact you afterwards to make sure you don't have any doubts. We will be sending the recording of this webinar together with the slides afterwards. We would also like to invite you to follow us on our new LinkedIn channel, Bosch Life Safety Systems. You can follow us by scanning the QR code in the screen, and you can also simply search Bosch Life Safety Systems on LinkedIn. We will be very happy to have you with us. And of course, we will, as usual, maintain you up to date with the latest innovations from Bosch. And lastly, I would like to present the presenter of today's webinar, Christoph Vanderberg. He is the Global Product Manager of the AVENAR panel. And you can also contact him through LinkedIn via the QR code on your screen. Thank you very much. Christoph, please.
Thank you, Valeria, for this nice introduction, and also a warm welcome to everybody here to join us in this webinar. Let me share my screen with presentation. So clicking 5 times share. Okay.
Perfect.
So, and the recording is started. Can you see my screen?
Perfectly fine.
Yes. So today we would like to inform you about the possibilities of AVENAR panel to integrate in a building management system. Let's start with a short introduction and then have an overview of all the possibilities to find out which solution works out best for you in which situation. But first of all, why do we want to have such a building management integration? The need for that is increasing. In the past, only big systems were connected to a building management system, but now we saw a trend that even medium-sized and sometimes smaller-sized systems require a BMS connection. And why are people doing that? Because a building management system has a couple of benefits. It creates a faster emergency response. Just imagine that you have a fire alarm, you see on the map immediately where it is located. You can check the closest nearby camera, for example, to do the alarm verification. That saves lots of time instead of going and walking towards this fire. It has the centralized monitoring. So in a building, lots of technologies are installed. Every technology has its own graphical user interface. If you put on top of that a building management system, the user only needs to learn one system, and that's the graphical user interface of the building management system to control all the systems. And then afterwards, you also have an enhanced reporting and data analysis. So in case of an alarm, you can check through the building management system what triggered everything and how the complete alarm handling chain performed. So knowing this, yeah, we have a couple of opportunities and a couple of solutions that AVENAR panel offers a flexible integration in a building management system. And it's just depending on the scope of integration, which available brand. If you need a standardized solution, we have several options for that. And to guide you through these options, we have created a small decision tree with a couple of questions that should guide you to the right solution. So let's start with the first point, BMS system. If this BMS brand is already fixed, then you should check if AVENAR is already integrated. If it is not yet integrated, you can ask yourself the question, does the customer require a standardized interface? Maybe he wants to be open to other manufacturers. Maybe it is written in a tender or something. If this is not the case, we recommend you to use our FSI server. So FSI is our fire system interface. It's a Bosch proprietary communication protocol, which is actually the mother of all communications within our fire panel. You can connect through software developers kit and SDK through the FSI. The FSI is actually seen as a panel node, yeah. And when you have a panel node, then you have to be aware that we are in a networking environment. You can have up to 2,000 points per panel, and you can have a maximum of 32 panels or 31 panels because the building management is also one, and a total number of 32,000 sensors. To unlock the FSI feature, you need the premium license on the AVENAR panel. And of course, with the SDK, which is available on our extranet, you can make a connection. All commands are offered, are available in the panel. The dependency that it is available is on the integration side. So if the building management supplier integrated all the commands, all is available, but maybe he only had a selection of commands that is then tailored by the building management system. But as a matter of fact, we provide every single command through our software developers kit. The software developers kit contains an API which has some DLL files. If you install these DLL files and you create an event, you will see something like that. This is an example of the string that you receive in your building management system. So first of all, it provides you the logical address of the panel. Then it gives you a device type like a detector. Then you get the logical address of this device, and you receive this state. So in here, in this example, it's a fire detector from panel cluster 2, the third panel. And on that panel, it's zone 7, the fourth detector, who gives you a fire alarm. So this is basically what FSI is providing you. So if the customer really requires a standardized interface, we have two other options. There we have an OPC server, and now newly released, we have also a BACnet server. So OPC server, again, we are using FSI as a basis, and we are converting it to OPC via a piece of software, which is called our OPC server. OPC stands for OLE of process control, and OLE is actually object linking and embedding. That's a Windows feature that you maybe already use on regular basis. To give an example, you have a Word file. In this Word file, you have a spreadsheet. You can copy paste it via a picture, but you could also use OLE. That means you create an Excel sheet, you put everything in Excel, you make the dynamic link, and then every time you change something in the Excel sheet, it's automatically updated in the Word file. And this is exactly how our system works. Let's say that the panel is filling up the Excel sheet, and the Word document is actually your building management system or SCADA system, or in the past, our building integration system. So this is the mechanism. We are using data access 2.0. This is actually to fill out or to create the Excel sheet as a figure of speech. And alarm and events is actually updating the status in that Excel sheet. Also here, the majority of commands are supported. And something which is not standardized in OPC is states. So the protocol is standardized, but the meaning of the states is flexible. And for that, you need to make a mapping table. We are providing these states on the panel. It is representing in our OPC server a value. We have two OPC servers, one with the 600 series values or one with the old line status values. And depending on which you installed, you will have, in case of a fire, an event 603, which is created, or an event 16. And this you need to map to the building management system. In OPC, this is not standardized, so this is up to the choice of the building management system. So you need to get in contact with the supplier of that system and ask them, hey, which number is representing a fire in your building management systems? And maybe it is a number like 423, then you need to fill out here 423, and then the conversion is made. In case of a 603, it's a 423 in the BMS, so the fire is displayed correctly. And this is something we cannot do for you, because it is specifically for the SCADA system, for the building management system. So this definitely needs to be done by the supplier of that system. We now also launched a BACnet server, and BACnet is working with the same principle. We have the FSI, but now we have a BACnet stack. BACnet stands for Building Automation and Control Networks. And this is now completely standardized. This is actually the data interface specifically for building management systems. And here we do have a plug and play solution. We are using the BotNet protocol 23, and we are supporting the live safety points, and we are also transmitting live safety alarms. So in controversy like OPC, BotNet has really everything standardized. So you don't need to make this conversion table. It is fully tested on Web Vision 5 from our colleagues of Bosch Building Automation. But of course, every supplier of BMS system can have maybe a different flavor. Perhaps they are not using live safety points and live safety alarms. And because of that, we would like to know if you create now for the first time connection to Honeywell, Schneider Electric, Johnson Controls, Siemens, please get in contact with us that we can see how these systems are exactly behaving, and we can adapt our building management BACnet server correctly through the specific flavor. Here you can see an example of how it works using the live safety points on our own system Web Vision 5. So we have here connected a very simple AVENAR panel with a strobe, with a manual call point, and you can see here on the left side, this is actually what we see in Explorer view of the Web Vision 5. And this is, of course, our MMI of AVENAR panel, the remote terminal. So if I start a movie, you see that we have the life safety devices. The panel is seen as a life safety device. It's really from Bosch. So you have here the strobe and the call point. As you can see, these are all objects which are standard to BACnet. If you now create an alarm on the manual call point, you will see the manual call point provides you the event state life safety alarm. Also, the strobe is now activated, so it's providing you life safety alarm. If we now do a reset, of this alarm, you will see they go back to normal mode. Please also be aware that we have an out of service object. So if you now bypass the manual call point, you will see that this out of service is changing from no to yes. Yeah, so that means now it is out of service. When it is no, it means if you put it back in service, it's again fully functional. So this is how BACnet really is standardized and how it is actually working as a plug-and-play solution. If you want to use BACnet, of course, you need a premium license panel controller, but you also now need to order a license to install the BACnet server. You can order it via the normal procedure. It's called FSM 8000 BACnet server license. It has a rate of 2,000 euros because we did all the tweaking our side. Then for the first versions, because we really want to know where it is installed, we need the MAC address of your system, and we will also like to know the type and brand, so we can track a little bit to where it is connected to offer you also here some support when needed. This sales agreement you receive by mail, just reply on it, and then you get by mail the BACnet server delivered. And of course, we will send also then shortly after the invoice. So this is the purchasing order for BACnet server. Okay. We had now FSI, we had OPC, we had BACnet. What if AVENAR is already integrated in making use of one of these three servers? Then we always recommend you to verify the panel firmware version. You never know that the supplier of this building management system used an old firmware version, and this old firmware version is not providing a feature that you need. Let's say the latest interface module or the latest sounders, yeah. Then you need to get in contact with the building management system supplier and ask for this. And if it is an old firmware version which does not contain the features you need to ask for a small update. This is not a big task for them, but it could be from very high convenience for you at the commissioning site. Good. This is just a small formality that we propose to do. Now let's go to the bottom side of our decision tree. What if the building management system is not fixed and the customer is asking you to make a proposal? Then you can ask yourself, does the customer only needs fire? If he needs more than fire, then you maybe have a local supplier that you have a good contact with, all good, all fine for us. But if not, maybe you could check the Advances WinGuard solution. Yeah, this is one of the examples we have. They are really a third-party multi-domain solution. They have more than 500 software interfaces, including AVENAR, including Presenza, including many other brands. It's also a solution for when you need more than 10,000 data points, when you need multiple AVENAR networks. And yeah, this Advances WinGuard, they have sales offices which are quite spread over the world. They have a user interface with 26 languages. Maybe you could Google if they are available in your country, and maybe in the case you need to supply something, you could maybe contact WinGuard and then they can support you in that. And last but not least, if it is fire only and you don't need more than 10,000 points, then of course you can also supply the customer with our fire monitoring system that is purely fire up to 10,000 points, one fire alarm system or network. This is then a very good solution for that as well. Okay, so now looking at the complete decision tree. So first question is the building management system brand fixed? If yes, then you can ask yourself, is AVENAR already integrated in this building management system? If not, then we need to check, do the customer require a standardized interface? If not, then we recommend to use the FSI server because this is the most direct way to connect to AVENAR panel. If you need a standardized interface, then we have two options, OPC and BACnet. OPC is more often used for our building integration system and for SCADA systems, while BACnet server is more appropriate for real building management systems. If the AVENAR panel is already integrated in the BMS, then just please check the fire system firmware version. Maybe it is an old version. If it is an old version and it does not contain a feature that you need, please request to do a quick update here by the supplier. In the case the building management system is not fixed and it is fire only and it is below 10,000 points, then of course our fire monitoring system is a good alternative. If you need more than fire, if you need more than 10,000 points, maybe you can have a third-party supplier which you have locally a very good connection. If not, maybe you could check if WinGuard is active in your region, and maybe you could quickly contact them and they will be very happy to support you with this. Okay, we are at the end of this webinar. The takeaway is, yes, the integration of fire systems into third-party BMS system is increasing in importance. We are providing several possibilities. Look at the decision tree, which one fits best for you. And now we are also including BACnet, which provides you a plug-and-play solution specifically for building management systems. So, Valeria, we like feedback.
Yes. Thank you, Christoph. Thank you for the presentation. And now we would like to ask you, before moving forward with the Q&A section, to please respond this very fast survey for us. It will take you a few seconds. Just please scan the QR code on the screen, and then you can answer a couple of questions regarding this webinar, as we will always like to improve the quality of our webinars. And of course, also to give you some more time to ask your question, to write down on the Q&A section or in the chat. I already see some questions incoming, so that's good. So maybe we can already move forward with that. I already can answer one of them, as it has more of a content-wise. It was for a language, but for the tools that we have now, I was able to decipher it. We will be sending the presentation together with the recording of this webinar later. So don't worry, for those of you who were late, you can still be able to watch the webinar since the beginning. Okay, let me start here with the questions. The first one says, which BMS vendors already have developed integration with AVENAR?
Oh, this is already, a long list. I can name you a couple of them. So Alesis is one of them, an Italian manufacturer. So the WindGuard. We also have this Web Vision now. We have also GFE who has a connection, and actually the list is so long that yeah I cannot give you now the complete thing. But it's also good if you have a, a new connection made that you inform us with that. Yeah, because we are not really creating the list here with us, so we are not really making a white paper or something with all the brands. So that could also really help us in the future.
Okay. Here, I do not know if it's really a question. It was done probably during the presentation, so probably referring to one of the slides.
Mm-hmm.
Is it read right? So maybe we need perhaps more information regarding this. So please, if this person can elaborate a bit more on the question, that would be really nice. How is backward compatibility handled for existing AVENAR and FBA systems?
So FSI and OPC is already there for a while. So there we have yeah, lots of backwards compatibility, and we have a various number of firmware versions available. For BACnet, which is now recently introduced, you need to have an AVENAR Fire panel with the firmware version 4.5. So this is for us here a new beginning, and yeah, you need to upgrade your Fire panel to AVENAR version 4.5. For
Okay.
OPC, FSI, yeah, it's already there for ages. So there you have a very large variations of firmware versions.
Good. So moving on with the next question, what level of control does the BMS have over the AVENAR system? Can the BMS silence alarms or initiate evacuations?
Yes, this is possible with the FSI and OPC. With the version we are launching now from BACnet, this is not yet integrated because the most important thing is to have the overview, the monitoring part of the system, and we will introduce the controlling in a later version next year. Also, I need to say, if you are in Europe, you have to check also your local regulations, because sometimes it is not allowed to make the controls from a building management system towards a fire panel unless this building management system is also EN54 approved. Yeah, so before you start integrating controls, please check your local regulations if it is allowed to do so.
Okay. When we are saying 10,000 points, is it devices or include every point signals?
So we are talking about FSM, I guess. Yeah, because this is the 10,000 points. This is really data points as specified in FSM, and that's really like manual call points, detectors, sounders, inputs, outputs. So everything is a data point.
Okay. What is the cost difference between the various integration options?
Yeah, that's a good question, but also a difficult question, because it seems now like BACnet is the most expensive solution because you need that license. But actually, BACnet is a plug-and-play solution. So yes, you need to. We are charging 2,000 euros for that, but you don't have additional work. If you use OPC, you need to create also this mapping table, and this needs to be done on the side of the BMS system. So I'm quite sure they will charge you for that. And if you want to integrate FSI, there is also some development work necessary on the side of the building management system, and then they will also charge you an amount of money to pay for the development. So now it looks like the BACnet is the most expensive solution, but at the end, I'm quite sure that this is at the end, if you combine it also with development on the building management system side, also one of the cheapest solutions.
And perhaps related to that, can we combine the integration possibilities in one system?
Yes, it is possible because sometimes the system needs to be connected to building management system on one hand, and then also to a SCADA system or a security management system. What we allow is that one panel or one system can be assigned to one building management system via BACnet, uh, one OPC server, and two FSI servers. So in total, you can have 4 connections.
Okay. Any hardware components required for BACnet integration?
The components, uh, it's like you need the panel with the premium license, and you need to pay for the BACnet server license, and then you get the BACnet server that you need to install on the machine where the BACnet server is, or where the building management system is installed, and then yeah, the system is up and running.
Good.
So similar like the OPC server.
What is the best way to integrate into the Genetec software?
Uh, this is something we need to discuss with Genetec. I don't know what they are offering, but Genetec is, in my point of view, more like a video management system. Yeah. So I'm not sure if they use BACnet, but nevertheless, from our point of view, always the best integration and the most seamless integration is using FSI. So then you have all possibilities and all the flexibility. Of course, it comes with a cost. Yeah, but this is, in our point of view, the best integration possibility. Yeah, while BACnet is then maybe the easiest possibility to integrate.
Good. So questions keep coming. Christoph, do we need to install any software from Bosch to implement BACnet integration?
Yes, the BACnet server.
Any limitation in number of points, I guess, while ordering BACnet module?
Um, so the limitations are on the AVENAR panel side. So then, because you have BACnet, it uses FSI. Because FSI is seen as a panel node, then the limitation is, of course, for each FSI or BACnet or OPC connection, you consume one node. Yeah, so in total we have 32, and if you use the BACnet or FSI, it's then only 31. You also have the networking limitation of 2000 detector points or logical points on the panel side, and then the total of the complete system is 32,000 points. But BACnet as such does not come with a limitation.
Okay, here another question regarding limitations. Are there any limitation in AVENAR panels with firmware when adding or changing points, sounders, asking for newer points on older panels when upgrading firmware?
I do not really understand the question here.
Okay,
So can you
so for this
maybe repeat?
person, yeah, we would, it's graded on the chat, but maybe for this person, I would suggest please get in contact, maybe
Mhm.
directly with Christoph
Yeah,
through his LinkedIn profile, and maybe you can have that conversation
yeah,
outside of this webinar. Yeah, read right, going back to that initial question, this person meant to say we are sending to BMS data, or we will able to receive signals from BMS?
So the controls. So with FSI and OPC, this is possible. For BACnet, we will introduce that next year. And please be aware, before you do that, check your local regulations if it is allowed or not.
Okay. FSM won't show sounder, flasher, and call point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, for FSI, how it's configured?
Yeah, for that, I need to refer you to our technical trainings. Yeah. But you need RPS, you need to create an FSI node, and then you need to assign the panels to that node, to that FSI server. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, very
And
in-depth.
for the details, please have a look at our online trainings. Yeah.
Exactly. Good
And,
opportunity
and the networking guide. There it is
to
also explained.
take a look into our trainings, which are quite good and vast.
Yeah.
Which operating systems BACnet server supports?
Windows 11. So we are on the latest version of Windows 11.
Okay. We can use in the same time FMS from Aliasis
Yes.
with OPC and advances with FSI.
Yes. Yes. Because currently with FSN you need the OPC server, and with advances the WinGuard it's using FSI. So this can be connected in parallel with each other.
Okay, let me see. I think we're done with the questions.
Okay.
If I miss any, please just make sure to write really quickly in the next few seconds so that we can answer it. Otherwise, again, you can always contact Christoph on his LinkedIn profile. Maybe we can move exactly to this next slide where you can also scan the QR code, and we'll link directly to our AVENAR panel website where you can find this and all the information regarding the panels. Christoph,
Yes.
do you want to add anything before we close this session?
Yeah, I would like to thank you for all the good questions, and I would also like to thank you for your interest in our AVENAR system.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time. Wish you everyone a very nice day.
See
Goodbye.
you. Bye bye.